After Infinity War, it seems like everyone and their dog has their own pet theories about how Marvel is going to resolve this, and I do, believe me, I totally do. Crackpot conspiracies aside, there's some real good clues in comics as well as the films that might give us an idea of where Marvel is going to go with their shared film universe. Hi, I'm Time Lord and Star Lord and Butt Lord Dan Umphin, and this is the Doomcast. Alright, so on a list of possible scenarios, perhaps the most shocking and yet unlikely is the idea that everybody stays dead. That's right, Strange, Spider-Man, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, Guardians, all of them just stay dead. And then there's no saying that Spider-Man's sequel can't be Miles Morales, or that Doctor Strange's sequel doesn't take place prior to the Infinity War, or with his astral form. It's not to say that T'Challa's mantle of Black Panther hasn't already been taken by Shuri in comics before, so why not on screen? It's less likely considering how popular these characters are, but then again, nobody expected Marvel to kill them off in the first place. A massive race of towering, miles-tall beings called Celestials have already appeared in the MCU. In the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, even using the Power Stone. So, why wouldn't they go looking for something that they can all capably wield? These giant Mardi Gras-looking floats may look pretty, but they are the real deal. Even Thanos would have a hard time standing up to any one of them, even with the Infinity Stones united. But does Marvel really want to bring in a race of taciturn, faceless aliens into the mix as their main villain in the next movie, or maybe as a Deus Ex Machina? It's unlikely, but will they make another appearance? Oh, I'm sure they will. Since Strange used a spell in Infinity War that is absolutely the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, that means that Cyttorak exists, and that somewhere in the MCU, so do the other Vishanti. These ethereal, other-dimensional beings of immense power from where Strange draws some of his abilities. But if the Celestials aren't that likely to do some sort of intervention, the Vishanti are no more likely themselves. One of the problems with Marvel's universe isn't that it's too big, it's that it's impossibly big. Really, it's a multiverse. And what happens when you throw that multiverse out of balance? Well, worlds start colliding, literally. In 2015's Infinity, alternate realities started appearing in our own. Literally other versions of the Marvel Earth floating a few hundred miles from their own Earth. To save reality, the Avengers fought for peaceful solutions, while Thanos and other like-minded anti-heroes, like Namor, I don't know, maybe he'll show up in the MCU, just merely destroyed other alternate realities proactively. Is it possible that another universe might incur into the MCU? If they wanted a soft reboot, it's not out of the realm of possibility. With Carol Danvers' debut into the Marvel Universe, it begs the question if she and her power set will act as a Deus Ex Machina with the Infinity Gauntlet. But her power set is almost nothing like Thanos' power set at all. Think Wonder Woman, but from space. She's super fast, strong, and vulnerable, can fly, manipulate energy beams, but she's nowhere near as powerful as Thanos if Thor isn't in the MCU. So unless she's dramatically more powered up in the MCU, it's going to take a whole lot more muscle as well. But the inclusion of Carol points towards another possibility, that of the introduction of a version of the Kree-Skrull War that leaves Earth a battleground of two warring space empires, in which Carol and the original Captain Marvel played a huge role. In it, the armies of both worlds wielded immense power, enough to battle Thanos, probably. But that story also ended in revelations of major Marvel heroes actually having been Skrull agents the entire time. And if that's the direction that Marvel wants to go with the cinematic universe, it certainly would be a great starting point. Strange's little trip into 14,506 Futures definitely made an impression on him. Clearly, that influenced Strange in making the decision to actually just give Thanos the Time Stone, notably a second before he killed Tony Stark. Ergo, the single future, in which Thanos was defeated, is the timeline in which Tony Stark remained alive. Strange himself told him that that was the only way. What is it that Tony Stark is destined to do to fix this? Only the master of the mystic arts actually knew, and he didn't say much more than it was the endgame, before he disappeared. But another master of time lurks in all other timelines in Marvel, and has yet to make any sort of appearance in the MCU since Infinity War foreshadows clearly messing with time travel. Kang the Conqueror stands a chance at being the next major phase's major villain. A master manipulator of every possible timeline, and present in some form, from ancient Egypt to the far-flung future at the end of time, Kang's incredible technological prowess, time manipulation, ruthlessness make him a very formidable opponent, maybe even more than Thanos. Adam Warlock originally played a major role in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, but so far hasn't shown up yet despite being teased in Guardians 1 and 2. Although he takes control of the gauntlet from the inside of the Soul Stone in the comic, it's because he's one of the only other beings that's actually strong enough to wield it. When, not if, he actually shows up in the MCU, for better or worse, huge things are going to follow. But while we're speaking of Soul Stones, you remember how Red Skull told Thanos that the Soul Stone only traded a soul for a soul, that in order to obtain a Soul Stone, well, not the Soul Stone, you had to sacrifice a thing that you truly loved. And if that's true, then he didn't just get the Soul Stone, he got a Soul Stone. He got specifically Gamora's Soul Stone. The flashback period in which Thanos is confronted, presumably by a younger Gamora inside of the Soul Gem, after he does his 2 snaps up in a circle thing, kind of strongly reinforce this. So I'm betting on Gamora fulfilling Adam Warlock's role in the original Infinity Gauntlet storyline in the next film. But will she end up being restored herself? Well, there you are, a half dozen or so real possibilities of how Marvel might actually try to resolve this incredible second act to their universe. Thanks everyone. We'll see you next week.